name is Amy Louise Cash. I am here today to give you some steps to forming really healthy relationships in your life, whether that is a romantic partner, a friendship, family members. I'm here to run you through the steps that I go through and the tools and resources that have worked for me to create those beautiful healthy boundaries that I have in my life right now. Step number 1 is you must first love yourself. So what do I mean by that? Love yourself first. What does that mean? Finding the things in your life that really feel good for you. Setting healthy boundaries within yourself. I'm huge on self-love, and from my own experience of not loving myself for most of my life, I became so aware and conscious about how important it is to actually love yourself and how important it is to fill your own cup up, to really look after you, really look after you first before anybody else. It really comes down to do you date yourself? Do you have a healthy relationship with yourself? Ask yourself that. What's my relationship with myself like? Is it healthy? Am I beating up on myself all the time? Am I talking negatively to myself? How do I speak with myself? Get really clear on what your relationship with yourself is like. Do you actually love yourself? Do you really truly embody self-love? Or is it just something that you talk about or you completely miss the train with? I want you to really sit with that. Ways to love yourself. Date yourself. I'm huge on this. Go on dates with yourself. Literally. Get dressed up like you are just about to go on a really amazing date. Do your makeup, do your hair. Take yourself to a restaurant. Book in. Hey, I'm calling. I want to make a booking for one person. I'm going to dinner with myself. So literally get out of your comfort zone and date yourself like you would want other people to date you. Step, rule, whatever you want to call it, number 2 is you must learn to live unapologetically. Be yourself unapologetically. Don't apologize for who you are. If you are a person that's really quirky, you're funny, you're a bit of a character, yet sometimes you feel that's too much, or will people like me if I show up that way? So you put this mask on of I'm just a nice person and I've got it all together. You're not showing up as your true self. So to create these beautiful, healthy relationships in your life, you get to show up unapologetically. You get to show up as you, however that looks. Whether it's that maybe you're really reserved and you're quite a serious person. Awesome. Own that. You get to own whatever it is you are as a person, however you are as a person. You get to own that unapologetically. This was a huge lesson for me, and it's something that I'm still working on daily. I have a quirky side to me. I like to be a bit funny, and I'm a bit of a jokester sometimes. Yet I've never really let that shine through because I always had this good girl mask on. I just need to look like the good girl, and so I'll just show up the way I think people want me to be, instead of letting myself out and being unapologetically me and singing in public when I can't even sing. Yet I love singing. So why would I not show up as my true self, is what I'm trying to say. So I invite you guys to really look at how you're showing up in your life, how you're showing up to the people around you, how you're showing up to your partner already, or your kids, or your family, your friends. How are you showing up? Are you really showing up as your true self? Or are you hiding away? Are you hiding that quirkiness away? Are you hiding the funniness away? Are you hiding little parts of yourself because you're scared of what people will think? Because now is your time. Now is your time to show up unapologetically. And when you do, it's really freeing because you're showing up as your true self. You're letting people see your truth. You're not hiding out anymore. That concludes step number 2. Step number 3, communication. Now, this one is massive. so massive. Communication. I was once a person who did not even know how to communicate. I avoided it like a plague. I was a person who hated confrontation so much that I would avoid it. When I used to be in a relationship, say if we would have like an argument or words or something would happen, I literally would become so stubborn that I would let this like fight go on for days and days and days, when really deep inside all I wanted to do was give him a hug and like fix the thing. Yet I was so stubborn because I just did not want to like deal with that confrontation. I didn't want to be wrong. And I was scared of the outcome all the time. I was always in fear. And so I really learned a huge lesson with communication there. And the way I realized and I learned and I became aware of this was through working on myself, filling my own cup up, learning to love me. And through that process, I realized that communication is key. When I was in Africa last year, I was over there teaching self-love in schools and personal growth in schools, and I remember this guy one night, he was like having a few drinks, and I remember he was this African man, and he said to me, communication is the key to life. Communication is the key to life. And when he said that, it's like literally stuck with me ever since, because it is so real. It is so true. Communication is so key in every single relationship that you have, every single friendship, every single family member, every single everything. And so if you can't communicate exactly how you feel, if you can't show up and you can't speak your truth, there's going to be things that don't feel good in that relationship. And your voice matters. And so if you have something you need to express, or there's something there for you, I highly, highly, highly invite you to actually use your voice, communicate. When we have a fight with somebody, whether it's a friend or a family member or whatever it is, if you just learn to speak when that thing comes up for you, like, hey, so-and-so, I'd love to just have a conversation with you. I'm experiencing like feeling a little bit upset right now, and I feel like I need to let you know why I'm upset, and I'd really love for us to communicate a little bit better. Just little things like that can turn, like, this communication can be a conversation instead of turning into an argument and then the communication going all haywire. So I invite you to practice that. Practice communicating. Practice with everyone that you're around, and practice using your voice. It's uncomfortable sometimes. It's really uncomfortable. And it's also super freeing. So I really invite you to really dive into that communication. It's really big. Let's go back. Step 1 was you must first love yourself. So you must first learn to love you. You must first learn to fill your cup up. You must first date yourself. You must first want to hang out with yourself. You must first talk beautifully to yourself, how you would want other people to talk to you. Number 2 is be yourself unapologetically. Show up as your true self. Let your quirkiness come out. Let your singing voice out. Let your, whatever it is for you, whether you're like really like, serious person, or you're like really fun, or you're just like, anything, whatever it is. We're all so different, and that's what makes this world so beautiful. Whatever you are, show up as that unapologetically, and just own yourself. Own who you are. Own who you are so much. It's beautiful when you see someone own who they are. It looks confident, it looks beautiful, it looks attractive, and people are attracted to that. So own who you are, because who you are is so worthy and so perfect and so beautiful. Number 3, communication is the key to life. I want you to practice this. I really want you to sit in the testing ground, sit in the uncomfortable zone of practicing communication. It seriously is the key to life. That's your 3 steps to starting to form really healthy relationships in your life, whether it's romantic, whether it's friendships, whether it's family. I hope that you guys can take like a small nugget away from this. If you are new to the tribe, please hit the subscribe button. If you are on Facebook, give me a thumbs up or a love heart so I know that you got some nuggets from this video. Drop a comment below and let me know which step you're going to start with first. Love you guys.